Come to the confused world of chaos, absurdity, and existentialism. Existentialism we had already talked about. Let's focus on some of the themes of existentialism. And if you see that Gale's Encyclopedia of Literary Movements, in that the first theme that is, you could say, visible before you is atheism. Atheism, as you know, that lack of belief in God, and existentialism seems to recommend abandonment of any belief in God because the concept of God contradicts the idea of the personal responsibility that is at the center of the philosophy of Jean-Paul Sartre. There is no God according to existentialists. They believe that man is responsible for his or her own action. Human beings have to take responsibility. When they are fully responsible for their past actions, then the belief in God seems to go away. So, this particular idea of, you could say, atheism centers to that ideology of existentialism that will focus on in Samuel Beckett's work as well. The other theme that is related to this particular philosophy is freedom. It derives from the principle of human behavior that is based on nothing except your own free choice. So human being is free to choose. You are free in choosing whatever you think is better for you, and you'll have to face consequences of that too. So it rejects those theories that try to find other factors that control human behavior, such as economic, social, psychological system that exist in order to explain what people do. In their point of view, identity or your social being is not dependent upon those superstructures or upon those institutions. Anything and whatever you do is dependent upon your own self, your own essence, your own actions. So there is, you could say, complete freedom of human being, but the human beings are responsible for whatever you do, whatever you perform, you will be responsible for them. So this sense of freedom sometimes leads the protagonist in existentialist work to commit actions that are commonly considered as evil. Remembers Devil's Disciple? Bernard Shaw? So you are responsible for your own action. So when you are completely free, then you could do whatever you like to do. Nobody's there to question you. And in response, guilt also, you could say, revolves around those actions. So central concern of that thought is absent of divine or biological rule. People must be responsible for their own actions. And there's the price of freedom. Freedom doesn't come without consequences. So this price of freedom with no rule from God or psychological traumas to excuse what one does. The responsibility for each action falls on the individual. So when complete responsibility falls upon you, then you have to taste the music as well. Music of consequences, music of all those actions, all those activities that will be upon you as human being. So similarly, identity over here in existentialist philosophy, uh, you see that human beings and human identity depends not on the other systems, right? Define identity in relation to something. Definition of identity, such as if you're women, you are represented through your marital status. If you are working in any society, such as I belong to academia, or I should be, my identity should only be as a teacher, or you belong to some social class, some social faction, so your identity should belong to that particular, you could say, ideology or thought included or embedded in that particular, you could say, society or class. So such when psychologists find the roots of identity in the past experience, effects of chemical balance in the brain, so whatever, like all that id, ego, superego sort of thing, mirror stage, archetypal approaches. So your identity revolves around other stuff, such as your parents, well-being. This is what, according to psychoanalytical philosopher. Similarly, romanticism frames identity in terms of man's relationship to nature, as Wordsworthian philosophy revolves around what? He justifies the ways of nature to man. So in existentialism, however, there is no point of reference with identity. A person's identity doesn't exist in anything except that the person's action. So action are responsible. So you are responsible for your own actions. Sartre explained, existence precedes essence. There is no rule governing a person's essential identity until after that action exists. So whatever you do, you perform is complete responsibility upon you as a human being. So your existence is the only thing that matters. I am, therefore I am. What am I? So that what am I, the original question would be what you are in reality. What are your essence? What are your, you could say, the nature of your being. The ontological question that also centers this particular philosophy too. And when such things happen, then definitely you are bound to be alone. Alienation, considered by intellectuals against socialization throughout the 19th century, and it increasingly went into the condition of, you could say, against human civilization, the feeling of isolation, if not belonging to something, some ideology, some sect, some nationality, some, you could say, caste, creed, something. No, not at all. You are human being, and it is the feeling of isolation. You're a human being. You came alone in this world. You'll go alone. So you will remain alone. There is no one in the darkest moment of those feelings and passions to soothe you, to comfort you, to rescue you. It is your own sense, your own feeling, your own passion that is going to help you out, or that is not going to help you out at all. So you are going to remain isolated over there. You are stranded over there. The advent of industrial age, social philosophers such as Karl Marx have shown how people are alienated from the work that they do. As Karl Marx also see that the proletariat class, working class, doesn't feel connected. They feel exploited, and then when they feel exploited, they have no, you could say, real passion to that particular work. So when you are, you could say, alienated, how could you connect to any ideology, any philosophy, any work at all? So psychologists have shown that the alienation as a rift between conscious and unconscious aspects of the self. Theologists have shown humanity as becoming increasingly alienated from the reality, as the importance of God diminished. So when there is no God, then definitely there is no, you could say, controlling force according to this particular ideology. Existentialism can be seen as responsible to those social phenomenon of alienation. So as the feeling of grew of being left out of the society, you are left out, you are alienated, you are sidelined, you are marginalized. So did the existentialist philosophy that it is natural to be separate from the society, because the idea of belonging to society is an illusion. All that it is a kind of myth. Nationalism, you could say feminism, or racism, or belonging to some ethnic identity, belonging to some religious identity. It is all illusion. It is like in the sense of it is a social construct. There is nothing concrete, nothing biological. So it is no coincidence that one of the most prominent in the novels of French existentialist movement, Albert Camus, The Stranger. So you could see the novel also talks about the stranger. The title implies to the psychologist the protagonist is outside the social order, alienated even from the closest to him. So you could see that you are alone. No one is there to help you out. No one is there to comfort you. No one is there to understand the true essence, the true nature. You are introvert. Experiences are those experiences that can never be understood, that can never be, you could say, grasped by anyone else in the society in which you exist. So then existentialism is what it is: absurdism, a human being, a philosophy that a human being is absolutely free and absolutely responsible. Anguish is the result, Jean-Paul Sartre, and it they are concerned with ontology. Ontology is the study of being, the study of nature, the study of human individuals. You, who are you? Who am I? Where are we? Where have we come from? Where are you going to? What is the nature of this universe? Why can't we remember anything? We hear that this world was created thousands of years ago. But where were we for those thousands of years? Where will be for the rest of the thousands of years? So ontological questions, the questions of nature. So then this all chaos started in after during World War II. So Europe faced the crisis of death, destruction, existentialism, like begin to hold a moment. So you see the futility of all those actions as you can relate this particular philosophy in this era of COVID-19. All the structures, all the philosophies appear to have been failing. They don't have a kind of solution to such a fine thing, a kind of virus creating. So where is your ultimate freedom? Where is the scientific innovation, technological development, all that? So when chaos is there, then there is bound to be alienation. So your life is the sum of your actions, that, and then man is nothing else but what we makes of himself. So I'll share this document with you. You could just see that how complex this philosophy is that emphasizes the absurdity of reality and human responsibility, and where human responsible are responsible for their own action, for their own choices, and it ain't just about rational decision. Reason alone is an inadequate guide to living, because people are also feeling and well-beings who must experience life directly, actively, passionately. So the fundamental question is anxiety. Human beings are, you could say, go through the feelings of anxiousness, and where you don't have any concrete answer, any concrete, you could say, result to the Jean-Paul Sartre's existence precedes essence. So you simply exist You find yourself born into the world, not of our own choosing. You're not here in this time of COVID-19. Many of, in fact, thousands and millions, if they knew that this chaos would be there, then definitely they would have chosen not to be here. We are here against our own will. We are here. We can't do. We are helpless. We are what? Social distancing? Where is that social, you could say, connectedness, philosophy, civilization, globalization, cosmopolitanism, connectedness, soul connection? There is no connection at all. So everything is alienated. Who am I remains the pertinent question. And here, then, the highest value in existentialism is personal freedom, the personal freedom. And let me just, I've already talked about that you could say atheism and all that philosophy, and like they didn't believe in that religious ideology at all. So my body, my circumstances, my past, my absolute freedom. My absolute freedom lies in only my action. It is absolute, always takes place in a particular context. So this is what makes freedom meaningful. And then absurdity is everywhere, and you could say that read that how Camus puts in the midst of Sisyphus, and what is absurd is the confrontation between sense of irrational and overwhelming desire for clarity, which resounds in the depth of men. So, in The Absurd Man by Camus, so you see that how people behave badly. Everything permitted is not an outburst of relief or joy, but rather a bitter acknowledgement of the fact one can be virtuous through a whim. There may be there may be responsible persons, but there are no guilty ones. Use past experiences to do whatever. So let's see, and you could say pictures, the extreme. Is this square of this we are born at this crack? So death is ultimately freedom. We are bound to be stranded in those vicious circles. If you see the extreme, you could say the third one from left is our quick experience here. Pointless? All that hustle, bustle. Look at Italy. Look at Spain. Look at America these days. Where is that freedom? Where is that choice of action? Where is that hustle, bustle, achievement, becoming millionaire, becoming billionaire, working? Does anything we say or do in here really matter? Have we done anything important? Have we been happy? Have we made the most of these precisions? You could say few footsteps. So is there anything precise? I think, therefore I am. So existence is what? I think, therefore I am. What is this life? What is this reality? I am. I am what I am. I am my being, my existence. That is what you have to choose. Or can you choose? This is the obvious thing that we'll have to talk in this particular philosophy. So students, you have laughed a lot. in previous two dramas. That is Doll's House and The Devil's Disciple. That is why I put them at the start and introduce this one, the biggest one, later on, so that we could uh, see, we could challenge the ideologies, the social ideologies, the social constructs that are there in the society, and when we are going to apply that upon the work of, you could say, one of the greatest writer of this era of modern drama, Samuel Beckett. The characters Estragon, Vladimir, Lucky, Pozo, and the boy. Act 1. There is no background. You see, if remember Doll's House, remember there was a background, there was a prologue, a country and a road. On a road, a tree. So look at the setting. That is very interesting setting. Evening time. Estragon sitting on a low mound is trying to take off his boot. He pulls at it with both hands, panting. He gives up, exhausted, rests, tries again. So he can't open his own boot. He can't untie it. So look at this. Look at the triviality of human life. This is what human life. This is what you all must be doing while restricting yourself at homes when you have nothing to do in the era of social distancing. So this is what the reality of life is as before, and that is why these writers tried to capture the essence of human life, the reality of human life, their values. So enter Vladimir, Estragon giving up again, nothing to be done with Vladimir, advancing with short, stiff strides, leg wide apart. I am beginning to come round to that opinion. All my life I have tried to put it from me, saying, will Vladimir be responsible? You haven't yet tried everything. And I resumed the struggle. He brought music on her. So again you could see the kind of alienation, the kind of babacy that he feels over there. All my life I have tried to put everything, and I have been asking myself to be reasonable. Yet you see, and I have been comforting that there is more to come. There is something else that could help you, that would improve the condition. Estragon. Am I? Am I? What am I? Am I? Where am I? Vladimir, I am glad to see you back. I thought you were gone forever. This is what fragility of life is. We don't believe. There is no hope. There is no optimism. There is no faith. There is no belief in meeting, seeing you again. Estragon, me too. You see that both of them thought that they won't be able to see each other again, together again at last. We will have to celebrate this, but how? Get up till I impress you? No, not now, not now. Irritably. No point of celebration too. No point of embracing too. Why to celebrate? What to celebrate? Vladimir heard coldly. May one inquire, where is Highness spirit the night? Where is Highness spent the night? Estragon, in a ditch. admiringly a ditch where Astragon, without gesture, over there, and they didn't beat you, beat me. Certainly, they beat me. Vladimir, the same as usual, the same. I don't know. Look at this, sleeping night in a ditch, and then receiving beating, regular beating by some guardian, by the other people. So this is what the reality of life is. Life is so fragile that it is compared to a ditch. There is no fancy living over there because we all would die, and in death we'll see. There won't be any comfort. There will be a ground. The ground will be covered with mud and that. So this existentialist world documents life in its wild sense. When I think of it all these years, but for me, where you would be decisively, you would be nothing more than a little heap of bones at the present minute, no doubt about it. So see, future prayer would be nothing but a heap of bones. So there is no positivity, there is no hope, rather things are in what in a very say in a very desolate mood, in a very destitute manner. Astragon, none of it gloomily. It's too much of one man pass cheerfully. On the other hand, what's the good of losing heart now? That's what I say. We should have thought of it a million years ago, in the 90s. So you could see that in the 90s, a million years ago, human being, whatever the thought that human thought was incapable of, you could say having understanding about those patterns of human life or human civilization. Then Vladimir, hand in hand from top of the Eiffel Tower, among the first. We were respectable in those days. Now it's too late. They won't even let us up. Astragon tears at his boot. What are you doing? Astragon, taking off my boot? Did that never happen to you? Vladimir, boots must be taken off every day. I am tired telling you that. Why don't you listen to me? Astragon, feebly, help me. It hurts. Astragon angrily hurts. He wants to know if it hurts. Angrily, no one ever suffers but you. I don't count. I would like to hear what you would say if you had what I have. See the kind of helplessness, kind of pessimism is there, and that is what human life is. Nowadays, you could compare the situation because this situation is very rightly applicable to the life that is depicted over there in this absurd world of absurd theater, the world of existentialism, where everything is but an existentialist, you could say, life, and you could see that there is, it is not, you could say, the big bowl of fruit. It is like the philosophy is that what is the meaning of this life? Is the truth in it? Is the truth relative? What is reality? What are the essence? Look at this one particular, you would say, of the sidewalk. We are born die and that crack. So we can't escape that reality, reality of feebleness, reality of weakness, reality of, you could say, human deprivation or human fragility and the freedom, and that is why humans are responsible for whatever they do or think or whatever is in, you could say, package. That is what human life is restricted about. So I'll wind up my today's video with this note, right? There is no note. Enjoy.